Hello, this is Joe Pryor of the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, part of Redbud Realty and Associates, here with my toy poodle, Henri, and we're going to shift the conversation today from yesterday's conversation about short sales to investment real estate. Now, these are two specialties that my team has here in Oklahoma City, and I want to talk about a particular return on investment term called capitalization rate. Now, I've talked about this before, but let me just kind of update you on what it means. Capitalization rate is a percentage. So let's take an easy one. Let's take a $100,000 purchase of a home that you're going to rent out. And let's say that by the end of the year, your net operating income after all expenses before debt service, your mortgage payment, is $10,000. Very simply, it becomes a percentage of 10%, so a 10% capitalization rate. Now, I know a lot of investors that tell me, hey, Joe, you give me a 10 cap and I'm going to buy it. Well, I don't think that this is something that you ought to buy on. I think it's an indicator of some other things that we may want to look at. But let me give you an example of what I think a 9 cap or a 9% capitalization rate purchase is something that can make more sense than an 11% capitalization rate, that's not an automatic. So let's take what is true about a residential property that you buy versus a commercial property. Now, if I sold you a office building or I sold you a apartment complex, then we're going to have rent rolls. We're going to have a lot of detailed information that I can look at, and I can really hone in on a capitalization rate. So commercial, in terms of using that term, is a whole lot easier. Now, in the case of a residential property, typically they're unoccupied when you buy them. Rarely, if ever, do you buy something with a renter already in there. So we're going to be buying a short sale or a foreclosure property or, say, a brand new home. And so these are going to be unoccupied, and therefore we really don't have any past history that we can go on. So let's say that 25-year-old foreclosure home is something that you want to buy. And I produce for you a very optimistic capitalization rate. And by that I mean I give you one without a couple of details that I think are important. First of all, if I have a 25-year-old home, it's going to be very, very well used, and it's more than likely going to require more maintenance every year. And so I should, if I'm going to do this properly, I should put in, say, $1,500, maybe even $2,000 after I view the property in terms of what I think is going to be the annual amount that you have to put in to keep that property up, because you're a landlord and you have to do this. And so that's your 11 cap. Well, I can compare that to a 9.5 cap that I'm getting on a brand new home because I'm getting some deals from builders. And the thing is you got new warranties. You got a 10-year warranty on a lot of things, 2-year warranties on a lot of things. Nothing has ever been used. And so I can pretty well say in that first year, which is what a cap rate is all about, a year's analysis, that your net operating income is not going to include maintenance. And so now the numbers are equalizing quite a bit when we compare the two. Now, the second thing that makes a difference when you're looking at residential real estate is desirability. For instance, we talk about things like functional obsolescence type of items of a brand new home versus an older home. So if we talk about obsolescence in a 25-year-old home, it may be, well, we have 8-foot ceilings in places where we have 10-foot ceilings. We have small closets versus large closets. We have bathrooms that are tiny or just a shower only in the master, where we have a tub and shower in the brand new home. We have exteriors that are different, higher pitches on the roof. A lot of things that make a home much more desirable. I'll give you an example. I have a group that is like a residential hedge fund group in terms of purchasing investment real estate. They recently purchased 4 brand new homes in Oklahoma City. Well, in all cases of these 4 homes, they were rented. We're closing on 3 more here this next Thursday, and they're already rented before they're ever closed on. And so at that point, we virtually have a 0 occupancy to start out with because they're desirable. They are not functionally obsolescent. They are brand new, they're clean, they're very, very appealing to people. And we put blinds in and garage door openers and things that make it totally rentable. Well, that 25-year-old house with the lower ceilings, the small closets, the small bathrooms may not be as desirable. So we may think, well, you know, really, if we're going to do something realistic, we need to put, say, a 10% vacancy rate in there because we know it may take a month or 2 months, so it could be a 15% vacancy rate. And then what happens is when you put those assumptions in that capitalization rate analysis, then all of a sudden that 11 cap is really optimistic. That is all things going well and really going against the grain. Now, I'm not saying don't buy the 25-year-old home, but maybe we need a 12 or a 12 and a half cap in order to do that, to equalize the difference in the advantages that you have in vacancy or lack thereof, and also in terms of maintenance. So these are the factors that we bring into residential real estate on investment. It can be an excellent idea. I really love single-family homes because unlike an apartment complex, if I have 5 single-family homes and I want to sell one, I can do that and keep the other 4. So the flexibility is there. Oklahoma City is a terrific place with high employment, with a wonderful job market. We're finding that our residential market here is just undersupplied with rental properties. But what I want to do is always give you the accurate estimate of what your capitalization rate is going to be. And I'm also going to give you a couple of other things like cash on cash and long-term return on investment to give you the idea of what you're buying and why you should buy it. So if you're interested in investment real estate, please get a hold of me at joe@joepryor.com. Let's put a time together where we can talk and I can show you how these investments work. This is Joe Pryor of the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, where we deliver traditional real estate values at the speed of technology.